What's up, Internet? This is the 84th Wolf, and welcome back to another episode of Wolf Watches. Today we'll be looking at Death Battle between Mewtwo and Shadow the Hedgehog. It's a long video, so we'll go right into it. We've had Shadow on the Death Battle show before. He went up against Vegeta and got crushed, but he might have a little bit of an advantage this time because, I mean, Mewtwo isn't known for being a glutton for punishment like Vegeta was. So, let's go ahead and jump right into the episode.
With Death Battle, our combatants are always extraordinary in one way or another, whether they're a superhero or a plumber.
But these two are literally built to show up the rest of their kind. Mewtwo, the genetically engineered Pokemon.
And Shadow the Hedgehog, the ultimate life form.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a Death Battle. Years ago, a brilliant scientist named Dr. Fuji was working to create a brand new life form which would change the world.
That's great and all, but he had something else in mind.
Fuji hoped his experiments would help him discover a way to resurrect the person he cherished most, his deceased daughter, Amber.
With unlimited resources funded by mob money, he figured out how to clone his daughter's ball of consciousness.
I didn't know
Because
that part
science.
before.
But before he could finish, he had to create the most powerful Pokemon, a clone of the legendary Mew.
And he named him Mewtwo.
Yeah, Fuji wasn't very creative when it comes to naming, but when you can create a new life form with nothing but a fossilized eyelash, you know you're a master of genetic engineering.
Yeah, he
A
doesn't
field
need
I'd
he doesn't
love
need
to
to
get
worry
more
about
experience
names.
in myself.
Told you 1,000 times, Wiz. You're not gonna alter my DNA.
What are you talking about? I would never do that.
Always watching, Wiz. Always.
Growing up in a test tube, Mewtwo's only companions were Fuji's other test subjects, including Amber herself, through some sort of psychic link.
Amber taught
Wow.
Mewtwo about the sun, the moon, tears, and, life stuff. Oh, and also death when she died for good right in front of him.
Worrying this may be too mentally traumatic for the still infant Mewtwo, Dr. Fuji's team erased all memory of her.
Oh.
Unfortunately, this left Mewtwo with a feeling of loss and confusion, and no memories to explain why.
With nothing else to do, Mewtwo decided to take out all his aggression on all of humanity. Then he turned some stupid kid into stone, a bunch of Pokemon cried, and Mewtwo figured out humans aren't so bad after all.
Mewtwo is one of the most powerful psychic-type Pokemon, defeating its foes with the power of its mind.
Alright, wait a minute. You keep calling him it. Is Mewtwo a guy or a girl?
Well, neither. Technically, it's genderless.
Oh. How does it bang?
It doesn't.
Bummer.
That
Well,
is a
one
bummer.
thing's for sure, it's got balls. Of ghost energy that blow holes in stadiums. Had an onslaught of undodgeable stars, multiple types of defensive shields, and a healing ability for when those shields don't quite cut it.
Alongside its other abilities, Mewtwo's favorite move is Psychic, a powerful form of telekinesis. With it, Mewtwo can effortlessly send enemies as heavy as a 500-pound Onix flying through the air.
He can even make himself fly like a Zubat out of hell.
Also, it can augment its melee combat with psychic energy or occasionally a massive spoon.
Would you say he sometimes spoons his enemies?
No, nothing about Mewtwo is cuddly, especially when it uses Hyper Beam or Psy Strike, attacks so strong they can incapacitate the toughest of Pokemon in a single hit.
And when trouble comes a-knocking, Mewtwo answers the door with a badass Mega Evolution.
Mewtwo
Oh,
is one of the
all
few
right.
Pokemon capable of Mega Evolving without the assistance of a trainer. As Mega Mewtwo Y, it gains enormous boosts in strength, defense, and speed.
Making Mewtwo powerful enough to fly into space
Again,
while
I-
carrying a robot bug monster.
Fast enough to breach escape velocity over 25,000 miles per hour.
I
over
just
32
recently
times
got
the speed
into
of
like
sound.
the
So,
Mega Evolution
really
of Pokemon.
fast.
Like I'm going
Mewtwo
through
is
the
so skilled in its psychic
X and
prowess, it
Y
can
and
wipe
Z
specific
saga
memories
just
from
because
dozens of people
all this
at once.
resurgence
On
of
top of
Pokemon
all that,
stuff.
it can
So.
survive a massive amount
I know
of
a little
abuse,
bit, but
like the
that's
time
pretty
it got
impressive.
double impaled by an alien Pokemon's tentacles. Shouldn't they censor that?
It effortlessly defeated most of the Pokemon Champions team, including a legendary Articuno. It also teleported an entire crater lake from the top of Mount Cana. This lake is comparable to a similar body of water in the real world, Lake Kilauea, which holds over 385 million tons of water.
Wow.
Wow! That's almost enough power to lift my ex-wife on buffet day.
Being a psychic Pokemon, Mewtwo is naturally weak to bug, ghost, and dark type damage. Strange Dr. Fuji didn't pull that code out of his DNA, but whatever.
Hey, you gotta have some sort of failsafe when you're making the world's most powerful Pokemon.
Ah yes, the ultimate failsafe against the most powerful psychic Pokemon. Bugs!
Oh, God, it's a Caterpie! Get it away, it's spooky!
So if Caterpie beats a Mewtwo, is that the strongest Pokemon in the world?
Creators have used and betrayed me. So, I stand alone.
Suck it, Team Rocket. He was pissed, that movie.
Years ago, a brilliant scientist named Professor Gerald Robotnik, the grandfather of Sonic's forever balding nemesis, worked to create a new life form which would change the world.
It was called Project Shadow, a covert government operation to discover the secret to immortality. Besides, like diet and exercise, because fuck that.
In Professor Gerald's case, specifically for his granddaughter Maria, who was dying as a result of neuroimmune deficiency syndrome.
Now that I think about it, Project Shadow is a pretty scary name for a program that's all about curing diseases and saving humanity.
Maybe it has something to do with the program's secret pact with a hive mind alien race called the Black Arms. Perhaps.
Maybe.
Okay.
That makes sense.
What do you get when you take immortality, the cure of all diseases, aliens, and put them all together to make the ultimate life form? You get a hedgehog.
Shadow the Hedgehog was the first step toward a perfect future. And during his time in Gerald's space laboratory, Shadow and Maria grew very close.
Until they were separated by a bullet. Turns out the governments of the world weren't too fond of all the evil alien business, so they stormed the place, captured Shadow, and killed Maria right in front of him. 50 years later, Shadow escaped and decided to take his revenge by just killing everyone. Until he remembered Maria's last words were pretty much, "Don't be a dick," so he changed his mind.
Now on the side of good, Shadow dedicated himself to protecting the world from the forces of evil.
Turns out fighting the bad guys isn't too hard when you've got super strength, super speed, helped along by some awesome rocket shoes, and a bucket of deadly chaos powers.
By channeling the potentially unlimited power of the Chaos Emeralds, Shadow can enhance physical attacks, heal over time, and strike with powerful energy blasts. And with the power of Chaos Control, he can warp through space and distort time, slowing it down to a crawl, or with enough power, freezing it completely.
He's got so much power, he can only contain it all with 2 inhibitor rings around his wrists.
That's
Unless he gets all 7 Chaos Emeralds, which he can use to transform into a Super Saiyan Shadow. Super Shadow, yeah. As Super Shadow, he is completely invulnerable, can move at the speed of light, and has unlimited access to the power of the Chaos Emeralds.
Enough power to stop the space colony Ark's collision with Earth, and to teleport a giant comet the size of a city. Assuming this rock is half hollow and using the density of concrete as minimum base, this black comet must weigh at least 915 million tons.
Damn.
Even without his super form, Shadow is powerful enough to wipe out an entire alien fleet in one blast, fast enough to reach hypersonic speeds, and strong enough to play tug-of-war with a giant space monster who is so big he uses a planet a tenth the size of our moon as a chair. Naturally, when you've got this much power, you're probably a cocky dick.
Yes, Shadow is excessively overconfident in his abilities. Also, he has a terrible memory.
This guy's spent most of his life wondering who the hell he is. And even when he does remember, he usually winds up losing his memories later anyway. To be fair, if I fell from outer space and all I lost were my memories, I'd consider it a really good day. I mean, I lose them from just falling over at the bar.
That's probably not because of the fall. Also, we can't forget that the Super Shadow form only lasts so long.
Then again, when you move at light speed and have control over space and time, who cares about time limits?
Not usually a problem for the ultimate life form.
Many years ago, Professor Gerald Robotnik endowed me with the
Yeah,
power
I'm
of
still
chaos
gonna give the
control.
edge to
A normal
Shadow.
creature
If
like
he-
yourself doesn't stand
As
a
long as he
chance
doesn't get
against
too
me.
cocky and waste too much time, he can totally wipe
All
the floor
right,
with
the
Mewtwo.
combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
It's time for
For a
a
death battle! Whoa. Mewtwo's got a new look.
Get away!
It did have a new look for a second.
You are not welcome here. Leave this place.
What's your problem, freak?
I know not its name, but it is black, red, and very annoying.
Here we go. Nice redirect attack.
This'll stop you!
Another gem? What's he doing?
Chaos!
I must know.
He can read his mind.
No!
Control!
I remember that in the breakdown.
Good try, monster, but you're done!
Too much!
Gotta teleport away, Mewtwo. Goes into its Mega Evolution.
Chaos!
Not this time.
Control!
Confusion?
Maria. Wait, where am I? Oh my god, I'm glowing! Why am I glowing?
Sayonara.
So... Okay, I didn't expect any of that. It was very quick.
Whiz, when we started Death Battle, I don't think we ever expected to see someone die by spoon.
Yeah, Shadow may have had the advantage in pure speed and power, but this time, Rain defeated Brawn.
Mewtwo got the rundown on all Shadow's abilities simply by reading his mind, giving it the knowledge it needed to counter or avoid crazy powers like Chaos Control.
Ultimately, there was nothing really stopping Mewtwo from just taking over Shadow's mind, and its impressive durability
Yeah, actually,
and healing
that
power
makes
bought it
sense
enough
now.
time to do so.
Pretty hard to win a fight when your opponent can make you forget what you're doing and who you are in an instant.
Shadow has been mind controlled before, and has always relied on outside help to recover. Even while Super Shadow was physically invulnerable, this form didn't protect his mind. Like that time he fell from space, and then the worst game ever happened.
Yeah, Shadow was gonna lose, sooner or later.
The winner is Mewtwo.
Okay, well, I lost my prediction mainly because I completely forgot all of Mewtwo's mind-controlling abilities. They didn't put that in the breakdown. It's been so long since I've seen a movie or an episode with Mewtwo to remember that he has that kind of power. But it makes perfect sense. I mean, Shadow has no protection, no training against psychic abilities or anything like that. So it was a little anticlimactic, really, but it was funny at the end, just death by spoon. And there was a bunch of lore stuff about Mewtwo that I had never known before. The Mega Evolution, the battle with, I think it's Dioxys, right? The one with the tentacles and stuff like that. And I didn't know he used a spoon. So I was ill prepared to make an assumption based on this. But anyway, running out of time now, but... this was a good death battle. Hopefully, I'm putting up the next death battle between Maine and Carolina from Red vs. Blue. Hopefully, it won't get taken down just like every other Red vs. Blue episode that I put up. So here's hoping that it works. So until then, this is the 84th Wolf, and I'll see you guys next time.